Hi guys, I welcome you all to my channel. My name is Kate and my fashion brand is Carrie's Apparel. In today's video, we are going to be learning how to make a short pants. Okay, now if this is what you like to see, why not watch to the end, and don't forget to hit on the subscribe button so you get notified whenever I upload new videos. And also don't forget to like and share. Let's get down to business. Okay guys, now in this shop that we are making, the first thing to do is to go ahead and fold your fabric into two, which I have done. Okay, just fold into two. You're working with your thigh measurement. For me, my thigh measurement is 27 inches. Divided by 2 is going to give me 13.5. Okay, you can see I'm even having extra excess to it, so that's fine. Okay, now the next thing to do is to go ahead and work with your hip measurements. You take your vertical measurement. Now the hip measurement for me is 9 inches, so I go ahead and just mark like so. I hope my chalk is visible. Now to get the crouch length is your hip measurement divided by 4. My hip is 42 inches, divided by 4 is giving me 10.5 inches, so that becomes my crouch length. Then the length I'm working with for this shirt is 17 inches, so I go ahead and mark my 17 inches like so. I will just come this way and repeat the same thing so I can get a straight rule for what I'm doing. So I go ahead next and connect my line as you can see me do. Okay, so I hope my chalk is visible. All right, so this is what I am having. All right, so the next I'm going to do at this my hip, this is my waist, this is my hip, this is my crotch, and this is the knicker length. Okay, so at this my hip line, I'm just going to go in by 0.5 inch. You know, I'm replacing that same 0.5 at this way like so, and I'm just going to connect using a straight rule. All right, okay, so that's what I'm having. The next thing, I'm going to impute my hip measurement, which is 10.5. Now because I'm making a knicker, I'm going to add 0.5 for his. That's going to give me 11 inches. Are you seeing the 11 inches? I'm just going to transfer this measurement to the waist. So by the time you take from this place to this place, okay, let's assume, okay, minus the 0.5 that we left, the 11 inches. So transferring to this waist part is going to give me the 11 inches plus the half an inch or the 0.5. Okay, so that's what I'm having there. I'm just going to connect using a straight rule. All right, so that's what I'm having. Now for this my crouch length, either you work with the formula, that means hip measurement divided by 4, then that's to get your, after transferring the same 11 inches here. Okay, then to get the extension, you can just go ahead and divide your hip measurement divided by 4. Whatever you are having, you go ahead and divide again by 4. That means if your hip is like mine, that is 42, divided by 4 is giving me 10.5. Then you go ahead and divide that 10.5 again by 4. But if you don't want to go through that process, you just go ahead and impute your thigh measurement. You take your thigh measurement round. Like for me, my thigh. Okay, so I said my thigh measurement is 27. So divided by 2 is giving me 13.5 inches. So you can see where I'm placing my tape from this way to this way like this. This is 13.5. So next is just to go ahead now and connect like so. I'm using my hip cuff. So I'm using my hip cuff like so. I just go ahead and connect like that. So then the next to do is to go ahead now and work on the waist. Now my waist measurement is 32. Now I'm not going to take the measurement from this way. I'm going to take my measurement from this line like so. So my 32 divided by 4 is giving me 8 inches. I'll go ahead and just mark that 8. I'm not adding any seam allowance to the front, okay? No seam allowance to the front pattern. So I'm going to use my hip curve again to connect to this way. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm just connecting to this way like so. Okay, so this is what I'm having for this way. Then at this side, at this crotch line, I'm just going to come down by 1 inch. Okay, then I'm going to connect back to the sides, to the side seam like this. Okay, then the next I'm going to work on the length. Okay, so the hem, you just go ahead and measure that part round where you want your knicker to stop. You go ahead and measure round. Is 24 divided by 2 is going to give me 12. Yeah, I hope I'm correct. All right, 12 inches. All right, so then the next I'll just go ahead and connect like so. So this is basically all for the front pattern. Next I'll just cut out my pattern like this. I'm going to use this front now to work on the back pattern. I'll just go ahead and cut out like so. Okay, so all right, so I'm just cutting out this front part like so now. Well, mind you, this front pattern that we just drafted now, so there's no any allowance. Okay, so for this front, this waist part like so, I'm just going to add, I'm leaving like 0.25 or 0.5. okay, for the sewing. I'm going to add a band to the waist. All right, so I'm going to cut that this like so. You can see I'm just cutting it out. All right, okay, so for this down part, I'm just going to work with a band at the hem. I'm going to insert a band, so that's why I didn't have any sewing allowance at the down. So I'm going to use this pattern now to cut the back. So this is what we're having now for the front, but for this hem, I'm just going to cut another fabric to just turn up. So that's what I'll do for this part. Then the upper part, I'm going to insert a band. All right, so I'm just going to use this now to cut out the back. Okay guys, now so I just go ahead again and fold my fabric into 2 again to get my back pattern, and as you can see, I've placed my front pattern on it. Okay, now so for the back, there's really no much thing to do. The first thing to do is just to go ahead and add your seam allowance of 2 inches round. From this note is just from this crotch to this way that I'm adding a allowance. I'm not adding to this way, so I'm just adding 2 inch to this way. Okay, now but when I get to this crotch line, this is my crotch line, as you can see. Okay, I don't just go ahead to just place my crotch extension for the back. You know, the back pattern is usually bigger than the front pattern. Okay, so what I do from this way, I can go ahead and connect like this, but I usually come down by 1 inch now so that the person will be able to sit comfortably. Then for if 40 upwards, you can go ahead to use 4 inch for the back extension, but from like 38 to, let's say 30, from 37 to 38, you can use 3.5, but 40 to like 44, 46, use 4. Then from like 48 upwards for hip, you go ahead to use 4.5 for the crouch extension. The essence of using that is for comfort. Okay, so you can see the way I'm placing my tape just for the crouch extension at the back. I'm using 4 inch for the back. Okay, but for this other side I'm using my 2-inch seam allowance. Okay, so next I'll just go ahead now and connect this. First I'm going to connect this with a straight rule like so. Okay, then next I'm going to connect to this way like this for just the crotch extension for the back. Okay, you can see what I'm having. All right, so the next I'm going to blend here to this way like this. I'll blend to this part like this. Okay, I just blend like this. Hope you can see my chalk. All right, so that's what I'm having for that. Okay, then for this back, first of all, this back, we're going to raise this back now. The back pattern from the crotch line, we're going to raise by 1.5 inch or 1 inch, depending on what you want. But I'm using now 1.5, so I'm connecting that 1.5. Okay, then I'm going to connect back to the side, same like so. Then now for this short, I'm making use of elastic waist for the back only, so I'm going to leave now seam allowance for this back pattern just for the waist only. Okay, so I'm going to connect this one to the hip. I'm just going to work with like, okay, extra 2 inch for the elastic. Okay, but if you're going to be using a zipper, no need for this. Please take note of that. No need for that if you're going to be using this way like this. That's the only extra allowance I'm adding to this. I'm not adding anything to this way. Then the next thing, I'll just go ahead and cut out. Okay, so just watch what I'm doing. I'll just cut out like so. Okay, you can see the way I'm just cutting it out. All right, let me cut from this way, then bring it closer so that you can see properly. All right, so I'm just bringing it closer so you can see. Let's cut out this one like this now. Okay, all right, so I've cut out this for the back now. Then at this way, let me bring it this way. So just to go ahead now and just cut out this part. All right, you can see what I'm having here. Okay, so this is what I'm having now. This is our back pattern and our front pattern. Okay, now for this one, I'm going to be inserting pockets for the front. I'll be inserting pocket for the front. So this is our back. Let's cut out, guys. Now for this short I'm making, there'll be pockets. So what I'm going to do quickly is just to cut out the pockets. First thing I'll do from this waist part at the side seam, okay, I'll just go in now by 2 inch like so. Then from here I'll just mark 6 inches. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Then next is just to connect using, I just connect like so using a straight line. Okay, then I'm going to cut out this. I'll cut out this very part out. Okay, all right, I've cut it out. Then next now I'll bring out another fabric. All right, the wideness of what the pocket I want, the wideness should be 8 inches, not is unfold. All right, the wideness should be 8 inches. 8 inches is fine by me. Then the depth should be around 12 inches. Okay, so this is what I'm having. 12 inches. All right, so next is just to connect this to meet this, like so. After getting this, next is just to curve this part a bit, so you can just curve anyhow you want it. Okay, so I'll cut out this now. Okay, so I'm going to use this now to cut out another one for the two sides. For pocket, we are supposed to have the pocket back and the pocket facing. All right, so I'll just cut out this again. All right, making sure I'm having same thing. I'll go ahead and cut out this again. After which I'm going to get my pocket facing. All right, so I'll cut that here now. All right, so this is what we are having. So I'm going to slit both open now. All right, so I'm using one part as the pocket bag and the other part as the pocket facing. So I'll bring my front pattern again, like so. This is my pocket facing. Watch the way I'm going to place it. I'll just place like so. Are you seeing it? So I'm going to cut out this. You see what I'm having now? I'll just place like so and cut out. All right, so I won't cut exact line. I'm leaving like half an inch. All right, so this is what I'm having. So by the time I cut out like this, you see our pocket bag and the pocket facing, it's ready. Are you seeing it? So this is how it's expected to be. Okay, you can see by the time we are done stitching, this is what we are going to be getting. So you see, so this for the pockets.